everybody, Half Full Monty here, and a quick video here on the Infinity Hank throwing axe. I did previously a little glimpse of stuff. Anyway, so it's a different design throwing axe, and so I cleaned up the head. It was a used head that I got, and put edge on it a little bit, and did the handle. Okay, so what makes these unique and special, especially for throwing axe people, is the handle. As you can see, here's how they come. They're about $7 a piece if you buy them from Infinity Axe. I think they're 1.25 inches by 3/4 with a round on the edges to go in the head. You can do very little sanding, but you have to do it. And it's the standard. You get the head going on it, and then you turn it upside down and use something to tap it in. And then, which I went out there and threw it without this little roll pin in here. But anyway, either you knock a roll pin in there. It's approved by all the federations and stuff. And so, yeah, you have to cut it to your length and everything, but you could, the guy's initial idea is individuals will make their own because it's so simple to make, but he does offer them at a reasonable price. And handles, you can spend anywhere from $7 for $8 for a handle, $12 on up to $100 for handles, or maybe even a little bit more than hundreds for custom made laminated handles. These but all of these somebody had to shape it and make it to where these basically not a whole lot, but some. So you use those, and like I said, you do a roll pin on this one here. It calls for 1/4 inch by 1 inch. I had a little bit of an issue, if you can see. I don't have it all the way in. I can't find my roll pin punch, which is like a regular punch, except for see in there, the center part has a little thing that sticks out that fits in that hole, and then the rest of it, 1/4 inch, goes around the outside, which allows you to use pressure around that roll pin, which is a piece of steel. Well, hold on. Okay, so they're actually, I got these on Amazon. They're actually calling them a tension pin. Used to be, I see them called spring pins, but they're generally called roll pins. You see the slot down there? So it's basically a piece of steel that's got this slot in it, and so when you knock it into wherever it is, it causes that gap to close up when it goes in. Then when it gets in there, it releases and it holds stuff in place. It's called a roll pin. Okay, come in all different sizes and different hardnesses, just like nuts and bolts and everything. And I was shocked, I'm telling you, that I had to try to find one of these. I tried locally. I went to Home Depot, and those guys don't even know what a roll pin is, okay? And after they decide, oh yeah, well, we can order you one in. Same thing at Lowe's, McCoy's, it's a hardware store, lumberyard. Then I said, oh, I'm going to go to a auto parts place because there's a lot of stuff is put together with roll pins, tension pins, spring pins. And there's another kind that's just like a piece of steel, and it's just like maybe you take like a stick of juicy fruit and roll it up, and that's what it looks like. And it works the same way. The tension, when you knock it in, it squeezes it, then it releases it, holds it in place. Literally, lawn chairs, all kinds of machinery, lawnmowers, tractors, you name it, held together with roll pins. But anyway, none of those, except for at the auto parts store, they knew what a roll pin was. And at this time, they used to have a tray or a bunch of cubby hole looking things. They had different size nuts and bolts and washers and all kinds of cotter pins and roll pins. And you'd pull it out, you get the one that your size, okay, that you need. And but they don't do that anymore because that's a bunch of stuff sitting there that nobody buys, you know, except for when they need it. And so what they have is they have a little plastic pre-made little thing that's got about 2 or 3 different sizes in it. And of course they didn't have this size. Anyway, so I ended up going to Amazon and got it next day. Anyway, that's my story on the roll pin. And it's amazing. There's guys that are near to my age, they don't have a clue what that is and what it's for. It's kind of shocking, you know, that being a guy that grew up, you know, holding the flashlight, you know, while dad fixes the car, or he fixes the plumbing, or he you know, did whatever he did, and watch how things work. And then when your car or your bicycle or your skateboard or whatever it is broke, you got it out there yourself, you know, and fiddled with it. And then maybe if you couldn't handle it, or the older neighbor kid or your older brother or sibling or whatever couldn't help you out with that, you wait until your dad got home, and you know, if he wasn't too tired and wore out or pissed off, you know, most of it, my dad was always like, hey, yeah, I'll help you with that, you know. I still have some of his stuff. All those guys that lived through the, you know, all the things that you lived through, depression, wars, living in a country where the grocery store, hardware store, whatever, general store, I guess is what you would call them then, were who knows how far away. And so you had to fix your own stuff, you know. But you know, so he had little bins with all different size screws, nuts, bolts, cotter keys, roll pins, and stuff, because you know, when you need something, you need it, you go out there and dig through it, you know. So those days are gone, but now you can Google it and say, what is that? Well, they'll only get like 5 different answers of what that's for. And because it's used in so many things, you know, you can go from lawnmower repair to appliance repairs, the shelving, to mechanical things. I mean, it's just, and you can get sucked down there to quickly to where you know where it's at. Not drag on about that, but it's just interesting to me to see the development of things and my grandson and my grandkids, no, they'll never come close to knowing what any of that is, or you know, hey, it's broke. You got to fix it if you're going to continue on. You know, that head came off your hammer when you're working. I got to go buy another hammer. Well, no, you get something and knock in it and tighten it up until you can fix it right. But those days are gone, and all that knowledge is kind of like knowledge that wasn't important at the time, it seemed like, and random but guys like Dad, good to have around, you know, the house, you know, because houses, as if you own a house, and if it's any new house, old house, whatever it is, you're constantly having to the things that go wrong. Cars, same way. All these things have failed, and what do? Well, I gotta wait and get an appointment to go in and have somebody look at it. I need somebody to come and give me an estimate on how much it is, you know. And then I guess they look at their parts list, they Google it, and oh, this is what you'll need. And so they order all that, and when it comes in, they pop out there and put a roll pin in your deck plate on your lawn tractor, you know. Anyway, there you go, roll pin education. Back to the Hank. I thought it really is an ugly design. The handles, there's lots of throwers that love these. They just love them. And why? Is because you break a handle, you just get another stick. You know, you could actually literally have this thing, broken handle out and a new one in 5 minutes. If you had all the stuff there, you know, to cut it and knock it in, and you know, which is like a hammer, a saw, some sandpaper, you know, you can have it done quickly, but you know, it doesn't look as pretty as all the fancy handles that you see out there on throwing axes. But and the feel, I thought, well, that's just a signpost, like you stick, you know, vote for so-and-so in your front yard, or stay off, no trespassing, you know, a stake. It feels like you got all this stake. But if you have a small hand like me, and it actually lines up pretty good, and I guess you could throw it with the flick. I can't do the flick. I don't have the finger strength or whatever. But other throwers that throw, like, you know, baseball bat, or, you know, maybe golf or whatever, you know, you line your hand up, your knuckle goes in line with that goes in line with that goes in line with the bullseye, you know. So I'm told. I mean, I'm an amateur at all this stuff. But anyway, let's go out and see how it throws. I've already had it out there. Of course, I threw it before, just like I do all my hatchets. I saw another guy online that does this, and I thought, oh, that's silly. But before I even wedge them, sometimes, you know, if it's a regular wedge type, I go out there and throw it, and they don't move, you know, before that. So I've been out there and threw it without the pin in it and everything. But anyway, let's go out there and do a couple of throws real quick. My boards are really in bad shape, but I'll show you how it flies. Okay, on this episode of Will It Stick, we have the Infinity Axe Hank. Looks like kind of a half hatchet design with the easy replaceable handle. This one here ended up being 17 inches long, and it weighs 1 pound, 13 ounces. So let's see if it sticks.